And this all comes at a time when the tensions between Israel and Hezbollah are also at risk of boiling over. Cross-border attacks are ramping up, and now Prime Minister Netanyahu has issued a stern warning. Let's get some more insights into the tense situation. We're bringing in Avi Melamed for more. He's a former Israeli intelligence official and former senior official on Arab affairs. Good morning. Good to see you again, Avi. Now, like I just hinted on, Netanyahu has just said that they are ready with an extremely powerful response, is how he put it. So do people have to brace for all-out war in Lebanon now?
Well, we are definitely looking at a process of escalation. I would mention, however, that for the time being, to the best of my reading, it seems like both sides, Israel and Hezbollah, still are conducting a self-restraint, and both are basically prefer to avoid escalation towards a full-scale confrontation. That being said, we have to remember this is a dynamic that could result in, even though maybe the two sides are not interested, this is a dynamic that could result in the end of the day, a massive war.
So do you still see a diplomatic solution to this then? You just mentioned that both sides are still exercising self-restraint.
Yes, theoretically, yes, and I think there is still place and space to try and to exhaust the diplomatic efforts. We have to remember also that in Lebanon, of course in Israel, but in Lebanon, the Lebanese are clearly saying to the Hezbollah, we don't want to be part of this war. This is not our war. Do not drag us to this war. The problem of the Lebanese is that they are being occupied by the Iranians through the Hezbollah, and the Hezbollah is the one that in the end of the day is dictating its radical agenda, and its masters the Iranian radical agenda.
So Hezbollah has actually also said that they don't want an all-out war. What do you make of that?
Hezbollah is the most significant tool in the arsenal of the Iranians in terms of the proxies. And as far as the Iranian regime is concerned, the Hezbollah's mission has two missions. One is to make sure that the Iranian grip in Iran will tighten and deepen. And the other thing is that the Hezbollah is supposed to be some sort of a card, a deterrence card in the hands of the Iranians against anyone who may try to attack Iranian strategic assets. So in the end of the day, the Iranian wouldn't like to jeopardize so much their most significant valuable asset, the Hezbollah, and hence, for the time being, the self-restraint of the Hezbollah.
Understood. Now, Israeli President Herzog asked world leaders to act so that events don't spiral out of control. Tell me more about what he is expecting them to do, and what can they do?
It all goes back to the same old story. The major challenge here is the Iranian regime. This is a regime that is enormously dangerous. Every day we have another example. You just saw report about the Houthis in Yemen. The Houthis are proxies of the Iranians, and those missiles, as you accurately indicated, they were not produced by the Yemenite Houthis. They were produced in Iran by the Iranians. They provide the knowledge and the military know-how. So in the end of the day, it goes back to the same simple but most significant challenge, and that is the need to confront decisively the mullah regime in Tehran, the Western powers that could be the only relevant player in that regard. The Western powers up until now hesitant to do that, and the outcome of that is that in every day that goes by, the mullah regime is gaining momentum. Its proxies in the region are spreading havoc, destruction, and dangers not only to the region, but beyond the region. Going back to the Houthis are jeopardizing the world economy. They took the world economy hostage in the service of the Iranians, and the Western leaders are basically standing there almost unable to do something significant in order to stop that process. But it's not because they are unable. They are not willing to do because they are simply afraid of confronting that regime. The problem is if you don't deal with a bully when it's small, you're going to deal with this bully when he's big. And this is exactly what we see today with the Iranian regime.
Very interesting insights. Well, that's unfortunately all the time we have today to speak about that. Thank you so much, Avi Melamed, for your insights as always.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.